Peace, salutations. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. I am your host, I'm Underground News Network. Keep it in line with the discourse. Moon is walking. Come and see just another part of me. Eulogy for the prophet Michael Jackson. I have been listening to the Bobby Hemmitt videos, the one with him and Panic. They say that the Michael Jackson murder is not a conspiracy. Brothers, God, what we call God, and Satan is one coin. They work on either side of that coin. I come to tell you that music is the key to life, and you are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. Anything here in the wilderness of North America has always been a conspiracy. And until the poles shift, the correlation of the polarized shift in the year 2012, anything happening on that level is a conspiracy. There are only two planes of life, the objective and the subjective, and in all the space, everything in the space, even into outer space, the dark matter, all of that is truth. We can call that God. Dwells within me, dwells within you as you. It is time for the sages to speak. Thus we are speaking. As I look into the magic crystal, I see fat men giving people instructions on how to lose weight. This is hypocrisy. This is a paradox. This is a pivotal reality. How can a person who cannot control himself tell you how to control yourself? What you don't know, brothers, I want you to understand that you are delivering great information, and it's information. It might not be your experience, but it is what you have read. There's a difference between a scholar and a sage. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. Study the works of I'm. What you don't know, brothers, is that God and devil, as I have said, works together. There are 7 rays of the spectrum. We see it from where we're at. Wherever you find yourself in the halls of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is where you find yourself in my words. It is said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, meaning if you have it within yourself, you can see it in others. Everything is like a computer. If the information is not in cyberspace, you cannot retrieve it. Life is information being forever processed. What the new agents don't know is we are the reason they speak as they do. When they were young and in college at Atlanta University Center, Bobby Hemmitt, it was our influence that sparked that fire in them. I, along with Elder Hassan of WACP Tape Network, WACP, that is, Tape Network, now Internet Television. This is the esoteric origin of Bobby Hemmitt. Our vibration was placed in his head. There was a black spirit in Atlanta at that time, late 80s, early 90s. Bobby Hemmitt has not always been Bobby Hemmitt. It took men from the street and made them great street oracles. Atlanta was a vortex for the spirit of the street oracle. That spirit entered Bobby Hemmitt and made him the greatest street oracle in this country. So what we see here is not Bobby Hemmitt. It's a spirit of books. It's many spirits, good and bad. And you can tell by his size. The The more he reads, the more he digests, the bigger he gets. Those are spirits from not having control, from not placing the information totally right information. So you have these entities come down, speak through him sometimes. So he says those entities are what controls his life. Is a spirit he picked up from the streets in Atlanta, Georgia, and from sitting down and listening to sages. It was Ayatol Ayman, Elder Hassan, and a few more elders. This was a student in college at the time. Mine was not on what it's on now. He was influenced by Khalid Muhammad, who frequented the Atlanta University Center. Me and Elder Hassan would be on programs with Khalid Muhammad. We would speak. Hemmitt would be in the audience. He was listening. He was very attentive. That information, not the information he studied, was studied in school, but the information, the spirit of the street, the information that I was putting out, the esoteric information, the magic that I was dealing with at the time, and the information from Elder Hassan there at Atlanta University. This is the makeup of Bobby Hemmitt. This is the history of Bobby Hemmitt. That was a spirit in Atlanta at that time who had brothers placed in the parks around Atlanta. They were preaching the truth. They were not afraid of anything. And there was a group of people that were putting out tapes in the College Park area, over that way somewhere down by the health food stores over there. They were picked the boy's tapes up, and he became known through those tapes. So that's that. So we must, all the information gathering, you know, it's different sides of the spectrum. I see things from my perspective, you see things from your perspective, but we all brothers come together, put our information on the table, and within that information we will have the truth of what we should be doing. Okay, let's don't give up on this conspiracy. There's going to be things that's coming out to let us know that what we are saying is right. And there are some of us who cannot go any further, like the girl that started this vibration from the awning there on top of the building. I've tried to contact her. I gave her some information. She didn't contact me. We can only go so far. Some people, you know, they say, well, I'm not going to be associated with him because he's too far out there. Well, what do you think about yourself? What did you think he was doing when you put out a video and said that, okay, this is what happened to Michael Jackson? There's a conspiracy. This is the big leagues. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jam. One love.